Life is a mystery. Everyone must stand alone. I hear you call my name, and it feels like home. When you call my name, it's like a little prayer. I'm down on my knees. I wanna take you there in the midnight hour. I can feel your power, just like a prayer. You know I'll take you there. I hear your voice. It's like an angel sighing. I have no choice. I hear your voice. Feels like flying. I close my eyes. Oh God, I think I'm falling out of the sky. I close my eyes. Heaven help me when you call my name. It's like a little prayer. I'm down on my knees. I wanna take you there in the midnight hour. I can feel your power, just like a prayer. You know I'll take you there like a child.
Oh, good afternoon. I thought about this all morning because I'm about to, I don't know, piss on your chips or some such thing. But anyway, good afternoon. How the devil are you? How the devil are you? I'm just very much in this sort of frame of mind where the only thing that will do to conquer this shit is this. He's a man! Like, I hate to blow my own trumpet. I really, really do. I much prefer it if other people do it for me. But I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm wearing ultra goldy, feminine, sparkly, loads of makeup. Tried to do my hair. It's not gone that well. But tried to do all these things just to soften the blow. Because I'm a little bit pissed off, actually. I understand. I got in this fight to win it and to go back to my very ordinary, very nice, really nice life. Like really nice life. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend. But that's why I got involved in this fight. I got involved in this fight because I just thought, what? Hello? What? You're doing what? There's penises in my daughter's changing room. I beg your pardon. And then, as I've gone through this fight, and at first probably very much on the kind of women are victims, it's so terrible. And then finding out that actually women's are the ones on their knees, ushering these men into our spaces, because women have this bizarre need for everybody around them to think that they're the nicest, most passive, accepting people on the earth. Now, I don't include you lovely people who are watching. I know that many of you just feel so exasperated, and probably like me, if a man came in your space, especially if you sized up the situation, you probably tell him to piss off out, right? I know that we are like this. I know that there's places that women feel they can't speak. And I am pigs. I'll tell you what I'm really annoyed about. I mean, there's a list. I'll tell you what else kind of gets me as well is this word courage. Oh, these brave women, these brave women wearing their nice suits with their little trolley suitcases going into a court. Oh my God, they're so brave. That's not brave. That isn't brave. Brave is handing your kids over to, like, your non-verbal daughter over to a care home for the day while you go to work, not earning enough money really to support yourself, but you go to work and you leave your non-verbal daughter in a situation where you don't 100% know she's safe, where you go to sleep at night, right? These are just random acts of courage on a daily basis. You go to sleep at night and you are awake and you know that if you speak up, you're going to be screwed, but you do it anyway, right? That we see so many of these women. Like, that for me is courage. Speaking when you know that the world will turn on you is courage. Putting a fancy suit on and going into court and sitting next to loads of other people that really impress you, that have also once or twice been on the telly, that's not courage. And I'm sick and tired of hearing conviction. So I got involved in this so we could get it done and I could return to my very, very, very nice life, right? Quite a passive, quite a peaceful life, doing peaceful things, having matching luggage, that sort of thing. That was like the pinnacle of whatever I thought I'd ever achieve. But that's what I'm talking about. And instead, there are some people that have shored themselves up in 100-year war that could be over much, much quicker. And how could it be over? It could be over by convincing those handmaidens, those women in the violence against women sector, including all of them, actually, all of them, in encouraging those women, and sorry, let me just say, all of them with well-paid positions, right? Professional feminists, convincing those women to get up off their fucking knees and say no to those men. Like, I heard somebody say this morning, oh, well, maybe the law doesn't work. Maybe what it is that this law doesn't really work because women aren't using it. Well, the answer to that is, why aren't women using it? And don't tell me they're afraid. The first women weren't afraid. The second women weren't afraid. The third women weren't afraid. Maybe way down the line they're afraid, but that's a lack of courage. Like, how can you look at a woman who's been beaten to a pulp by a man and you offer her services, and how can your fear outweigh her courage? Like, that's what it takes. It doesn't take, let's redefine what it is to half break someone's leg. And then let's hope that people's legs don't get broken. That's not good enough. The only thing that works, and I'm also pig sick of people in convoluted, high-income households who get money for writing shit. Things that I could say in 3 words, they might take 50, 70, 100-page essays and get paid for it and get told that they're very clever. Oh, you're so clever. Like she took 5,000 words. Yeah, and she described rain. Oh my God. Yeah, it's fucking water that falls out the sky. There you go. So I am a little bit fed up with people telling us poor, lowly, poor, stupid people, that we're not allowed to repeal the GRA, that it will take decades, that it's far too long. What, longer than 1918? 1918, feels like that. 2018 is when this case first went to court. And it was about quotas. It wasn't about, nobody was suing Rape Crisis Scotland. Nobody did that. They weren't suing people. They weren't suing police forces for searching women's bodies. No. There was a new something, and I'm sure that actually the reason about taking this to court was to prove what a woman was. But let me just tell you the unintended consequences of this very wonderful, expensive, very important people attending that court case. I have very. Most of them in the fucking WhatsApp group. Anyway, so what you have is this thing where it goes, the Gender Recognition Act basically says a man is a woman. The Equality Act says that those fucking vagina havers, those nasty little cervix havers with tits, What they deserve sometimes is some privacy away from the other women, the legal women that have a gender recognition certificate. Oh, when is that? Well, only in some cases. So what we're going to prove today is we're going to prove that sometimes a man who says he's a woman isn't a woman. Sometimes. Sometimes. No. He's never, no man is ever a woman. Men are never women. Never. Not sometimes. Not when it makes us feel good. Not when we can have like a 4-day hearing in a court. Not when a woman's got a vagina, like a legs akimbo and a vagina showing. No, not just then. But every single instance in society, from a swimming club to a chaperone, the nurses on the wards that allow these men to go and see patients, they're involved. The doctors, the consultants who invite a man in to come and be a chaperone when it's a woman in front of them because they're frightened that there will be repercussions. Why can't they sue someone? Oh, I'm so I'll lose my £90,000 a year job. Oh, will you? Will you, John? Oh, okay, well, don't do it then. Let that man gulp at that woman's vagina. I mean, really, if you're going to lose, if you can't take the NHS to court for actually putting you in a position where you put your female patients at risk, fair enough, mate. Why don't you leave it to some other women? Why don't you look, how many women? It doesn't really matter, does it? He's only gulping at a vagina when she's in there for a medical exam. So just let it go on. This is what we're talking about. I'm so it's angels dancing on the head of a pin. These are tiny fixes when actually, like, if my house starts falling down, I'm not going to start fucking putting more bricks in my house and repairing some of the, like, start pointing the walls. I'm going to get a builder out and an engineer to find out what the fuck is going on with my foundations. I'm not going to just go, oh, let's just manage it. Oh, I can fix a window. Or let me just put a tile on the roof. No, I'm going to go to the very, very beginning of the problem. And these aren't brave feminists. Shut up about brave. And I include myself in that. I get called brave and courageous all the time. I'm not. I want to do this. I love doing this. It might take one of you bravery and courage to go and speak in front of a camera or go and stand in Hyde Park or even wade through a crowd of people punching you. But I don't pause before I do it. I don't take a deep breath and then charge through it and then say, oh my God, I'm so brave. That's not how it works for me. I'll tell you what I am. I'm too afraid of what happens if I don't. Like, that's the truth. It's not an act of courage to go and do these things and go and speak up and make enemies everywhere, which I do. Most women in this fight think I'm a little bit too much, which is good because I think they're far too little. These aren't acts of courage. It's like, what happens if let's say I stop. Let's say I acquiesce today. And I say, all right, well, that court case is amazing because at the end of it, we're going to have a law that basically says that men can be women. And what we're going to do is we're going to say, yeah, that's a great law. And they can still be women. I could acquiesce. I could say that it's great. I could kind of join in with the rest and say, oh my God, anything that anyone does is just so wonderful. It's just so anything they do, solidifying it and all that men can. Yeah, anything they do, anything. I could do that. And then who is left who actually holds the fucking line? Who? And look, it hasn't escaped me. I know I have the scythe. I'm hacking through the jungle. I'm more than happy for people to follow on behind. Copy my act. I'm very happy for that. It makes me very, very proud to see women holding the line and really not taking a breath and not caring how that sounds and just being a total badass. I love it. But this notion of somebody saying, just a few years ago this was happening and now I'm walking into this court. Yeah. To do what? Like, what's the best that can be achieved? That women who let those fucking men into the rape crisis centres and the domestic violence shelters can't do it anymore? Like, really? Are they not to blame at all? Yeah, come in, Dave. Oh, you're called Janet? Yeah, that's all right. She was beaten to a pulp for like 5 years, and one of her kids, yeah, he took him. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you can go and share a dorm with her. She won't mind. Yeah, because you are a woman, aren't you, Dave? You are a woman. Yeah, that's what's gone wrong. That's why we need to clarify the Equality Act, because so many women fell on their knees and practically filleted these men as a welcome. It's preposterous. Like, there's always a choice. I go back to this. When the lockdown had happened and Partygate, there was a nurse. There was a nurse who said, I kept a dying old man away from his wife. I think they'd been married something like 50 years. Like, let's say it was 40, just so I don't exaggerate. They'd been married like for 40 years and she was dying, and I kept him away from her dying wife while Boris was partying. And what I say to that nurse is, that's on you, love. You did that. Boris didn't do that. Boris wouldn't have done that. You did that. And why did you do that? Because you lost your brain. Because actually your humanity for that man at that moment was totally outweighed by your compliance to whatever it was that you were told that you had to do. And I think that's the same as the women in the violence against women sector. Like, that woman was dealing with a dying fucking woman. And you've got women up and down the country in these rape crisis centres and these domestic violence units who know why the women are there. They know why the women are there. They know in like Alcoholics Anonymous, women-only groups, they're often women who have issues with addiction, kind of are victims of violence and are in really bad trauma cycles. They know it. They don't give a shit. They'd rather let that man in. It's not because they're going to be sued. That's a lie. That's a lie. It's because someone's going to think that they're not nice. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I just can't. I just genuinely can't get behind these really expensive cases that do very, very little for anybody. Like, it's not the Equality Act that let these men in. It's not. It's women who let these men in. It's the culture that let these men in, that informed women that the good thing to do would be to let these men in. It's the BBC putting drag queens on all the time. It's like every single advert and every single corporation and every single law that underpins everything that says these men are women because of the GRA. So, okay, let's say they win. Let's say they win and the judgment doesn't take a year, which I understand it probably will. Let's say they win. Is a man in a fetish still teaching your kids? Is he? Is a man with a fetish still teaching your teenage daughters and then allowed to go in her changing room? Because he's a woman. And if you say he can't, what are you saying about him? What are you saying about him? What are you saying about that man who's allowed to do all the teacher duties except go in the changing room? Just saying he isn't a woman, right? Well, then you're discriminating against him because he's a legal woman. And you're only saying that he genuinely is a man. Like, he's either a woman or he's not. And you can't be legally a woman for some reasons. Oh, I'm legally a woman to get my pension. Are you? Are you? I'm legally, this was said today. They can legally have a birth certificate. They can legally have a pension. Why? I just don't get it. I just don't know why, if you're fucking starving hungry, you're all right with a couple of frozen peas. Because I'm not. I'm just not. I want a big, fat, juicy steak. I want to be full up to here. I'm not accepting crumbs from the table, thanks very much. The brand new ivory tower. The collective of women with expensive, ugly shoes. I can't. I can't do it. I can't pretend that I'm all right with it. And I've really tried not to say anything because I know that often I say stuff and then it's like, she doesn't support other women. I don't support this at all. I mean, seriously, reading through the tweets, oh, there's this person to the side of me, and there's that person behind me, and there's, oh my God, and these women were walking in today. It's like a who's who of Turf Central. No, it's not. It's like a who's who of shoring up for the long haul people. I don't want to do that. I'd like you never to see my face again in weeks, minutes. You know, if we had elected a government right now that said, right, let's get rid of the GRA, they could do it like that. It wouldn't take a lifetime. And this idea as well, that all the way through that first judgment back in 2018, I think it was, all the way through that first judgment, they used the word gender. How about going to court to find out what the fucking word gender means? How about that? How about let's test that out in a court of law? How about let's find out what a man is? When does a man stop being a man? Oh, it's just so, it's so frustrating. Look, if you want the GRA repealed, there's only one way to do it, and that's join Party of Women, because we're the only party that really cares. We're the only party that really cares, and I know there's other parties that sort of say that men can't be women, but you know those parties would still have a drag queen at their party. They still don't really. Loads of people don't really get it. And I just, someone says, Kellie-Jay, all movements split into factions. I don't even know. I don't even know that. I don't even know sometimes if I'm in that movement. I feel like I'm not. I feel like I'm in the get in, get out quick, get it done. Let's just finish this off. You know, whatever happens in that court today, and if they came, like I said, if they came out with a judgment in less than a year, I'd be surprised. But let's say they do. There's still a man in your toilets. There's still a man in your daughter's changing room, right? That's it. So what's the fucking point of it? Those women at any point, I don't believe they're afraid. I don't believe they're afraid. How can you be more afraid about stopping a man coming in your domestic violence shelter? How can you be more afraid of that than by letting him in? How does that work? Because I don't think that works for me. It doesn't work for me. I would be more afraid about letting him in. You know, there just seems to be two types of activists. There's activists that have a goal, want to get it done, in, out, as quick as possible. And there's those that have found themselves a comfortable little career. And I don't want to be the latter. And like I said, stop using the word courage unless you really fucking mean it. There's Laura in the chat. Join Let Women Speak Locals, because we are, you know, someone said about all the women in that court are grassroots. They're not. It's not grassroots. It's not grassroots to be professionals and then just switching to this, or being professional and then be targeted and whatever. Grassroots is something totally different. Grassroots is you know, just is not brand new ivory tower politics. It's not. But anyway, I just wanted to be very clear today, because I like many of the women involved, not all, but I like many of the women involved. And at the end of this, the very best you can hope for at the end of this case is that in some cases, men can be women. That's the case. You know, sex exemptions in the Equality Act are proportionate. Well, they still won't define when those instances are. Female only disco, is it proportionate to keep men out? What is it? Is it? Rape crisis center, I reckon they could say yes, it's proportionate. Domestic violence, yes, it's proportionate. But there'll be loads of situations where they decide it isn't, won't there? There'll be loads of situations they don't discuss. Women only book club, women only festival, like all these things. So anyway, if you can keep speaking the truth, even though you know that it's going to make you very, very unpopular with people you quite like, then I promise we will win. If you can dare to be honest, you can join up to Party of Women. Then I promise we will win. And do you know what else we're going to win? Well, because I never lose.
For I'm all aglow and alive. What a day this has been. What a rare mood I'm in. Why, it's almost like being in love. There's a smile on my face for the whole human race. Why, it's almost like being in love. All the music of life seems to be like a bell that is ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when that bell starts to peal, I would swear I was falling